cold, cold wind blowing here tonight. A chill in the air, honey, something ain't right. I see the writing on the wall, and I hear the bell toll. But Lord, it's so hard letting go. I can close my eyes, hear all I see. Your haunting voice tortures me. Touch these walls, yeah, memories flow. Lord, it's so hard letting go. Lord, it's so hard letting go. Lord, it's so hard letting go.
Well, Alex finally made it back. Y'all finished up in here, or is there any more?
No, we were just about to wrap things up.
Well, there is one more thing. In the past, when the girls have gone missing, nobody's ever been attacked and given a message like Charlie was.
Annie, you tell your ghost stories again. They don't have time for that stuff.
No, Mark, only telling the facts. I hope to see you guys at church tonight. You know, Pastor Stone, he gives a really good sermon. It really opens up the soul, very inspirational. See you later.
Yeah, Annie's right about that. Pastor Stone really gives a great sermon. He really brings down the fire and brimstone.
Well, then, I guess we'll just have to go to tonight's sermon.
Agreed. We might be able to find more information there. I think I'll give Director Barnes a call before we go.
That's good. Mark and I will go ahead and head on over to his desk, and we'll go ahead and be making plans for the day.
Why don't we grab a cup of coffee before we make some plans?
That sounds great. I could sure use an eye-opener of Java this morning.
Hey, Shane, what you doing out here?
Just hanging up some trail cams. Call it pre-planning for deer season.
One would think, the way you say you know these hollers like the back of your hand, that you wouldn't need any of that.
Well, you never know what you're going to catch on one of these. Deer, turkey, elk, anything.
Yeah,
really.
maybe somebody with a cell phone?
You know, I could ask why you're out here. What are you doing so far from the safety of your desk?
Me? I'm just out here getting some fresh air. This country air is great for
Fresh
you.
air out here in the holler? Think you're lost. Here, I'll point you in the direction of town.
I strongly suggest you take your hand off of me right this minute.
Must be hard for you to be looking for something when you can't see. Tell me something. What are you really doing out here?
You know where you need to put your cameras? Around your crazy friend Annie's neck. She's calling in B&Es when she's seeing ghosts. She's crazy. She needs to stay away, and so do you, because she could get hurt.
Are you threatening Annie? Because nobody threatens me or my friends.
Don't make threats. Go.
Haven't you heard? The 5th holler's dangerous out here. You shouldn't be here.
Yep, so am I.
Shane! Run! Next time I catch you out here, it'll be your last!
Well, good evening, Sheriff. Glad to see you. Looks like you brought some friends with you.
Yeah, Pastor Stone, this is Agents Lewis and Richards, taking a town citizen of missing girls.
Good to see you all. Glad to have you. Glad y'all can make it tonight. Hope you enjoy the service. Thank you. This is my assistant, Lee Daniels. That's Mr. Lewis. Mr. Assistant.
If you all don't mind, I'd love to have a talk with you all after the service tonight. I have some questions for you.
Of course. Yeah, absolutely. Should have plenty of time after today's sermon. I'll tell you whatever I can, as much as I can. Be glad to talk to you.
Looking forward to your sermon tonight, Pastor.
Absolutely.
We have heard that your sermons are pretty inspirational.
Well, I do what I can and put out what I can to whoever's willing to listen to me.
That's good.
All right, I now want to invite Pastor Stone for the sermon of the day. Everybody give him a hand.
I appreciate that. That was some mighty fine singing.
Thank you, Pastor.
I tell you what, every Sunday's good, but it just seems like some just take you to a whole different level, and I sure appreciate that. Folks, we got a short little sermon this morning. We've got some visitors today, folks. If you haven't had an opportunity, go by and greet them and welcome them here to our small little congregation here in Raylan. Glad to have you all with us. And I did want to make an announcement that there is going to be a little town hall meeting right after the service today. So be sure to stay around for that. We have our Vice Mayor here. Glad to see you here. If y'all would like to hang out for that. We know that Paul wrote to the Church of Corinth. See, the Church of Corinth was pretty much in the same situation we are, like we are here in Raylan. They didn't have a whole lot of the modern conveniences that some of the rest of the world had, and they like to get together and talk a lot. And they like to get together and talk a lot. And that's a wonderful thing. It's good when we get together and we talk, but sometimes that can be bad when we're not all on the same page. So I really like the idea of this town hall meeting and getting together and putting our heads together and let's all get on the same page. Because Paul told that church in Corinth, one of the early churches, he said, our God's not the God of confusion. He's a God of peace and love and understanding. So keep that in mind, and if y'all can come out this afternoon, that'd be wonderful. And if not, we'll understand. I've got a short little sermon today, and it's going to be out of the book of Hosea. That's right after Daniel, if y'all want to turn to that. The book of Hosea was written about 700 years before the birth of Christ, and Israel was in a pretty good situation at that time. They were probably doing as well as they had ever done as a nation, going all the way back to the time of Solomon. But they were starting to get some people in the area, and they were starting to associate with people that weren't from their area. So that kind of sets up where we're at in this lesson. And have any of y'all been outside of Raylan? That may seem funny to you all on the front row, but my grandfather, as far as we know, never spent a night away from his farm. He slept every night of his life in the same house he was born in. On those rare occasions when I have to go west or go north or leave this territory, I always miss it. It always feels like home. And they've got interesting places to eat. One of the places I like to eat is a Chinese restaurant. We don't have any here in Raylan, but I like to go to some of the cities outside of here and eat at those Chinese restaurants. Have y'all ever been to them? Oh. And at the end, they give you what they call a fortune cookie. Now, it doesn't look anything like these cookies we make here. These things that they serve look like those little coin purses we had when we were kids that we put our pennies in, and you break them open and they'll have some writing on them. And on the back, it'll have a word in Chinese and it'll try to define it. And I always think that's interesting. I'll look on the back and I'll learn a new word. A few weeks ago I learned the Chinese word for shoe. I don't know when that'll ever come in handy, but if I ever wake up in China one day and I'm missing a shoe, I'll know what to ask for. Well, the people in this book of Hosea, God is speaking to him, and they're having this issue with people coming in from outside of their area, outside of their homeland. And he introduces them to a new word in Hebrew. And we're going to look at that word. It's in the first chapter. And if we begin there in verses 10 through 12, we find out that that word is Lo-Ami, L-O-A-M-M-I. That's Hebrew, and it means not one of us, not belonging to me. God was telling Hosea when he had this child to name him Lo-Ami because he wasn't one of us. And we kind of get like that here in this little community, don't we? We think if somebody's not from here, they're not one of us. We may not say it out loud, but in the backs of our minds and in the bottoms of our hearts and in the depths of our souls, we know that they're not one of us.
I wonder who Pastor Stone's referring to there.
I don't know. It sounds, pretty clear to me who he's talking about.
So I will end this message as I began it. Our God is not the God of confusion. He is the God of peace, of love, and understanding. He'll take care of us if we take care of each other. So as Alex comes to bring our invitation, what are we singing for our invitation hymn?
I'll fly away, brother.
I'll fly away. Great old hymn. I'll fly away.
Stand for us, please.
Don't forget the meeting after the service today. Vice Mayor's here. Make welcome our neighbors.
All right, please join me.
Some glad morning when this life is o'er, I'll fly away to a rejoice. I'll fly away. I'll fly away.
I think I'll just go ahead and cut out, and I think I'm going to check out the youth pastor, see how he's doing with the teens.
I'm going to stick around here after the song, and that way I might be able to get with Pastor Stone.
Sounds good. Catch up with you.
Okay.
We thank you so much for coming this evening, and we want to pray for you. Please have a safe journey home. God bless you, and I'll see you next week. Dismissed. Good job, Brother Mark. Thank you.
It's a great sermon.
Appreciate it. Good to see you.
Good as always.
I hope your meeting goes well.
Yeah, me too.
I'm not sure if I'll be there or not. I hope you understand. Other people wanted to see me.
Pastor Stone.
Yes.
I enjoyed that sermon. It was very enlightening.
Well, I appreciate it. It's good to let them know that they don't need to worry. And if we put things in God's hands, everything will work.
Pastor, let me ask you a question. And I would like for you to give me an honest answer.
Well, hell, I'm a pastor. I really don't have a whole lot of choice in that matter, do I, other than to give you an honest answer.
So you think there's something about this myth of the soul taker maybe being a copycat type person? What's your take on that?
Here again, I really can't get into that. I'm a pastor. I'm a spiritual leader. People make choices. Some good, some bad. Some I understand, some I can't figure out. I believe, personally, some of these girls have just run off. Or they've taken advantage of the situation and just got out of town while the getting was good and used this as an excuse to get away. But I can't speculate on that. That'd be for you all to look into. You've got people that do that. I'm trained in this.
Thank you for the time, Pastor. I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to speak with you about this. We'll see each other again.
Oh, I'm sure we will.
All right, guys, if you could all please turn to page 4 of your lesson plans. We'll get started on today. And we actually have a special guest with us today. This is Special Agent May Lewis with the FBI. She'll be joining us.
Hey, everybody. Don't mind me. I'm just visiting.
Now, the lesson for today is basically how powerful faith can be and how powerful the lack of faith can be. More specifically, we're going to be discussing how the soul taker and this whole fifth holler myth plays into that.
But what about all those strange happenings that happen and the girls going missing?
And what about Jeannie and Carly? And just like all the other girls in the past, they just went vanished, just in thin air with no evidence, no suspects, anything.
All right, guys, listen. Look, I grew up here too, okay? So I know all about the fifth holler and the soul taker, okay? When I was in high school, I was on the varsity team my senior year, and we played this great soul taker prank on the cheerleaders. They screamed like banshees, okay? But that shows the strength of the superstition involved with the soul taker and the fifth holler myth here, okay? It's just not real.
Myth, superstition, or whatever it is you want to call it. What are we supposed to do when we have friends and family who are missing? What if they don't get found?
Charlie, we pray to stay strong. We lean on each other when our faith feels like it's becoming weak. We stay alert to everything around us, and we never give up. To give up is to lose hope, and there's always hope. The Lord will protect them wherever they go.
Amen.
Thank you, Lee, for listening to us, and we knew you'd be able to guide us and bring us together.
It's my pleasure. You know, if any of you guys need anything, just call me. You all have my cell phone, you know? Well, it looks like main service is leaving now, so you guys have a great night. Thank you. And thank you. See you guys.
Bye. See ya.
Wow, you really seem to connect with the teens.
Yeah, well, it doesn't hurt that I wasn't a teen too long ago anyway, so, you know, it helps.
Well, how well did you know Jeannie Willis and Carly Monroe?
Pretty well. Both very intelligent, very fun girls. You know, they like to have a good time, but in the right way, you know, so to speak. But they were both also kind of gullible, I guess you could say, especially with the whole soul taker myth.
And what makes you say that they were gullible?
Well, Carly looks up a lot to her cousins, especially Susie. Susie helps out a lot with Miss Hensley there at the antique shop, and she's been listening to Annie's ghost stories for so long that they're almost like gospel to her now. Yeah.
I understand that Jeannie is not from this area, so how does she fit into all this?
Yeah. Well, Jenny's dad is from the area, you know, but he does a lot of traveling still for his job and whatnot. So as soon as they moved here, Jenny pretty much latched on to Carly and her cousins immediately. He was really happy that she was able to make friends so quickly. So, yeah.
Had she ever spoken to you about leaving Raylan?
No, not really. But, I mean, growing up here, I wasn't sure if I was going to spend my whole life here or not, you know? Wasn't really heading down the right path, so to speak, back then. But then I started listening to Pastor Stone, and things just changed. I was drinking way too much back in those days. But Pastor Stone, he saved me. Gave me a sense of purpose.
Okay, well, I'll keep that in mind.
Great.
Okay.
Thanks again.
All right. Oh, by the way, I was going to mention something to you. If you soak that hand in some warm Epsom salt water, that should help take that swelling right out.
Oh, yeah. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Have a good day.
You too.
Again, I want to thank each and every one of you all for coming out this afternoon. I know you have other things to be doing, but we feel this is very necessary. Vice Mayor Thompson would like to address some of your questions, some of your concerns. I'd like to bring them up right now. Vice Mayor Thompson.
Richard.
Thank you for coming out today.
Thanks for doing it.
Yes, I would like to tell you the reason that I called the town meeting tonight, and that's to let everyone know that the FBI and the Sheriff's Department are requesting that everyone stay away from the mines and not to be out after dark. Now, if you must go out, please take someone with you.
I got slammed out Friday night.
Everyone quiet down. Not gonna get anything done, everybody talking at once.
Thank you, Sheriff. First, I'd like to thank everybody for staying over after services tonight so that we can discuss what's been happening. Well, this meeting is about 2 girls missing from our community. I'd like to address your concerns and to put a stop to some of the rumors going around our town.
Rumors, nothing. My little girl's missing. What I want to know is what's law enforcement doing about this? All I see you all doing is sitting around talking all the time.
Now, I know they are doing a lot more than just talking. Sheriff Robbins, would you care to take this question?
Adam, we don't have any leads. We don't have any suspects right now. We're doing all we can. We can't release anything to the public because it might tip off whoever's doing this. That's the best we can do.
Are you saying the kidnapper is someone in our community?
No, Rose, I'm not saying that. I just can't say what we do know.
Well, the Sheriff's Department is working closely with the FBI to find the 2 missing victims.
The victim has names. Carly Monroe, Jenny Wells. My cousin and my best friend, and I miss them both.
Thank you, Monica, for reminding that the girls do have names. But in a community as small as this, where everybody knows everyone, sometimes it's best to leave personal connections aside so that we can focus primarily on the crime itself.
Doesn't make a lick of sense to me. I'm not here to argue about names versus victims. I want to know what's being done.
Kirk, what steps are being taken to make sure that this doesn't happen again? My students are afraid to even leave their homes.
That's true. Since Monday, 30% of our students have been kept at home. Their parents are afraid that if they come to school, they may be hurt.
Well, I hate to hear that, because that means the students are missing out on their education. Sheriff, could you address the safety issue and what they might do to better protect themselves?
Sure, on a monthly basis, the Sheriff's Department offers a self-defense class taught by Alex and firearms class taught by Mark here, at a minimal fee, of course.
And so how many of you have taken any of these classes? Please, raise your hands.
Sure, if anyone would like to sign up for the classes, come to the Sheriff's office this morning, talk to Alex, sign up. Knowing how to defend yourself may keep you from becoming the next victim.
Well, what's being done with these mines? I've heard that these kids have been up there messing around that 5th holler. Have you guys checked to make sure there hasn't been a possible sinkhole up there?
That was their first thought, too. The area's been checked for sinkholes, any openings. Nothing's been found.
Speaking of the mines, isn't that where Charlie McCoy was beaten up at? What was he even doing up there?
Yes, Charlie did get beaten up pretty good. I think that was a matter of him being at the wrong place at the wrong time.
What does that even mean?
He was there for personal reasons that didn't have anything to do with the mines or the missing girls. It's times like these that we need to keep our heads about us and we need to keep our faith. He's lucky that he didn't get hurt a lot worse than what he did.
So are there any suspects, or does Charlie even know who beat him up?
That's a twofold question. There are no suspects. Charlie's not filed a complaint.
Well, what if the one that jumped him is the one that kidnapped the girls?
Still need to file a complaint before we can do anything.
So we're just gonna sit here and let the teenagers be attacked or even taken again?
No, that's why we're here tonight. Try to keep this from happening to someone else.
Charlie doesn't remember much at all about the attack. He was knocked unconscious. He was saying something about maybe a dark figure with some glowing eyes or something. But the important part is he's doing all right. Could have been a lot worse.
I'm scared. Why are we even here? Why do they want us here? We haven't done anything.
I don't know, Carly, but what I do know is we need to stick together no matter what. We need to keep our strength by eating whatever they bring us. We also need to sleep when we can so we don't get exhausted. We can do this.
What would anybody want from us? We're just kids.
You know, I saw on TV that in other countries, teenage girls are being sold as sex slaves or just being tortured for fun.
I hope it's none of that, and I hope we get found soon. You do think we're going to get found, right?
Yes, but in the meantime, we need to stay as calm as possible, do what they say, and hopefully we'll be found soon.
You will not be easily found. And you're right under their noses.
You can't be real. You look just like the description of the soul taker that took Annie's father.
I'm as real as your sweet, sweet cousins, Susie and Monica. Is that real enough for you?
Leave her alone. You don't need to threaten us. You already have us in this cage.
You have no right to make any demands.
You had no right to take us either, but you did.
Oh, I'm not finished with you yet.
Stop it. Can't you see Carly's already scared?
Maybe not scared enough.
What do you want with us? Our families have no money to pay a ransom.
It's not money I want. I want your purity.
Our what?
You will come to understand in due time. When it's time for you to be ready, here's your dinner.